These are the same technology that's on the International Space Station. This company is one of only 75, I think it is, companies to be inducted into the Aerospace Hall of Fame, or they got a medal for that technology.
The NASA awards.
NASA or something like that.
Yeah.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for
MLMs.
Well, here we are, folks. We're officially in 2022. I thought there'd be no better way to kick off a new year of content than by covering an MLM that claims to be selling NASA technology. Yep, given enough time, the entrepreneurs of the world will find some way to turn that one small step for man into a scam. Before I get into it though, I wanted to mention that I actually first heard about this MLM from a subscriber. It really does help me out a lot when you guys send me video suggestions, and the easiest way to do so is by sending me a message on Instagram. I can't promise to respond to everyone, but I really do love hearing about and researching new MLM companies that you guys bring to my attention. The MLM we're taking a look at today is called Vollara. This Dallas-based company is most known for their air purifier that they say uses something called radiant catalytic ionization to essentially neutralize airborne pathogens, things like bacteria and viruses. You heard that right. Their air purifier, which by the way retails for almost $1,500, supposedly neutralizes viruses. And you can bet your anti-MLM ass that Vollara reps have been using that as a marketing strategy during the COVID-19 pandemic. Vollara reps also claim that their air purifiers have been used in space and that the technology was originally developed by NASA scientists for use on the International Space Station. We'll discuss the legitimacy of this claim later on in the video, but for now, let's talk about how Vollara as a company came to be. Vollara is a subsidiary of a company called Eris Holdings. Eris not only owns Vollara, but also owns two other companies, Active Tech and Beyond by Eris. Vollara seems to be the sole multi-level marketing company under this umbrella, as Eris and its other subsidiaries don't seem to utilize an MLM model. Hey guys, Editing Taylor here. So after I filmed the script for this video, I actually found out that Eris has been renamed to Active Pure Technology. So moving forward, whenever I refer to Eris, just keep in mind that it's actually called Active Pure Technologies now. In their review of the company, the writer for the website behind MLM said that Vollara is likely just a corporate money spinner for Eris. I agree with this assessment. This is a bit of speculation on my part, but an MLM arm would provide a fast and easy cash infusion for a company struggling to sell their very overpriced air purifiers. Eris hasn't always sold air purifiers though. The company's roots actually go all the way back to 1924 with the founding of a company called Electrolux. However, this Electrolux has no affiliation with the well-known Electrolux of today that sells home appliances. This Electrolux sold vacuum cleaners.
Hello, I'm Charlie McKee for Electrolux. And this is an America that used to be. A time when companies brought vacuum cleaners to your home, because that's the best place to judge a vacuum. Today, few companies do that. But Electrolux still does, because your home is still the best place to see why Electrolux is better. So open your door to Electrolux. Electrolux, your home is the best place to see why we're better.
In 1968, Consolidated Foods, which is now Sara Lee, became a majority shareholder in Electrolux stock and acquired the company. A few decades later, Consolidated Foods sold Electrolux to a firm owned by a man named Joe Orso, who renamed the company to Eris. At some point, Eris stopped producing vacuum cleaners and started producing air purifiers that use a trademarked technology called Active Pure, or radiant catalytic ionization. Eris also produces high-tech laundry care systems that don't require detergent. In March of 2009, Eris, headed by Urso, purchased the assets of a bankrupt MLM company called EcoQuest and reformed it into what is now Vollara. EcoQuest has also been selling air purifiers, and as is typical for many MLM companies, they saw explosive growth in a very short period of time. Between 2000 and 2006, the company rapidly expanded. At one point, EcoQuest had over 100,000 distributors. However, their rapid expansion combined with increased market competition ultimately led to their downfall, and they very quickly declared bankruptcy. MLM companies often follow this trend of massive growth followed by a sudden implosion. While these companies are on their upswing, many people join as distributors because they're convinced that the company's growth is limitless. This couldn't be further from the truth, though. MLMs are subject to the same market constraints as any other company, and those who joined while business was booming often find themselves in a world of hurt when their MLM ultimately comes crashing down. As an interesting side note, EcoQuest also had a run-in with the FDA over bogus health claims related to their products, another typical occurrence for many MLM companies. Apparently, in 2000, EcoQuest was found in contempt of court for failing to keep their distributors from spreading false health claims. They were given a monetary fine for every day their distributors continued spreading these claims about their products. So, to summarize, in case anyone got lost in the weeds here with all the different companies I've mentioned, Electrolux became Eris. Eris then purchased the remaining assets of a bankrupt MLM called EcoQuest, and then Eris turned EcoQuest into a new MLM and named it Vollara. There's really not much known about the corporate side of Vollara, other than they sell the same products that Eris does. Their website doesn't say who the company's executives are or even list a company address. I was only able to find a list of Vollara executives on a random press release website. Joe Orso, the owner of Eris, also owns Vollara and serves as their chairman and CEO. And of course, a random assortment of boomery white dudes make up the rest of Volara's execs. Incidentally, through my research, I did discover that the chief medical and science officer for ActivePure, the technology that Eris and Vollara use in their air purifiers, is none other than Dr. Carolyn Burks. Yes, the same Dr. Burks who went viral for her reaction to Trump suggesting we inject disinfectant into our bodies to cure COVID during a briefing in early 2020.
Then I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? Because you see it gets on the lungs and it does a tremendous number on the lungs. So it'd be interesting to check that. So that you're going to have to use medical doctors with. But it sounds interesting to me.
Dr. Burks served as the White House coronavirus response coordinator during the Trump administration, and Vice President Mike Pence even referred to her as his right arm on his coronavirus task force. She was both praised and criticized during her time in the Trump administration. Although she was outspoken on the importance of following the science when it came to COVID, there are many who have criticized her for downplaying the severity of the virus. In my opinion, Dr. Burks seems to be a knowledgeable and accomplished expert, which leaves me questioning why she has associated herself with a company and a product that not only gives off very scammy vibes, but a company and a product that has direct ties to a pyramid scheme.
And I think your technology and your adaptability of the technology and your commitment to continue to study this and make it better every day, and it's a solution that people really are interested in and need right now. You had already the data showing that it could be used in occupied rooms. And I think that's the whole point. We want to be able to be occupied and safe. And I think having a technology that can work on surfaces and the air and really also safe for people to be in the rooms while they are constantly being protected by this source of inactivation was really important to me.
Let's go ahead and address what I'm sure you're all wondering about, the claims about their products being NASA technology.
Tell me what you got.
Okay, so this is the only air and surface sanitizer that has been inducted into the NASA Space Technology Hall of Fame.
These are the same technology that's on the International Space Station. This company is one of only 75, I think it is, companies to be inducted into the Aerospace Hall of Fame, or they got a medal for that technology.
The NASA awards.
NASA or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Volara's most popular product is their Air and Surface Pro air purifier, which reps routinely claim is a NASA technology or space technology. This claim is somewhat inaccurate. Volara's air purifiers weren't developed for space, and they aren't being used on the International Space Station. Their air purifiers are merely based on a technology that was developed for space. The original technology was developed by NASA scientists back in the 90s for plant growth experiments on the ISS. Plants naturally produce ethylene as they grow. However, in an enclosed space like the ISS, this ethylene gas builds up and actually causes plants to decay at an accelerated rate. In order to mitigate this, NASA scientists developed a technology that uses thin layers of titanium dioxide that, when exposed to UV light, converts ethylene into carbon dioxide and water. This technology is called an ethylene scrubber. Aeris, the parent company of Vollara, claims to have taken this ethylene scrubber technology and adapted it for use here on Earth. They've named their technology ActivePure. According to the Aeris website, as water and oxygen molecules flow through their purifier, they're turned into several types of oxidizers. As these oxidizers are released back into the air, they essentially destabilize viruses, bacteria, and other contaminants, rendering them harmless.
It works by creating and propelling molecules into the air in a room, which quickly neutralize pathogens everywhere. ActivePure molecules work by destabilizing the shell of a virus, bacteria, or other microscopic contaminant to destroy its living environment, turning it into harmless byproducts. ActivePure technology is designed to use the law of gases to carry its neutralizing molecules into every nook and cranny, in every space. The law of gases is the reason that the smell of microwave popcorn immediately spreads through your entire home. These odorless and invisible ActivePure molecules fly through the air from our portable and installed ActivePure products, neutralizing pathogens in the air. ActivePure is very different from other technologies that take a passive approach and require that the pathogen be pulled into a filter, UV light, or PCO mechanism. ActivePure doesn't wait to see the pathogens are captured. It neutralizes them in the air you breathe and on the surfaces you touch.
Aeris's ActivePure technology has been recognized by the Space Foundation, which is a nonprofit that promotes industries invested in space innovation. And it was inducted into their Space Technology Hall of Fame in 2017.
Because of the impact our technology has had on mankind, ActivePure is the only air cleaning technology to be inducted into the Space Technology Hall of Fame.
This Hall of Fame recognizes companies that have successfully adapted and marketed technologies originally designed for space for use here on Earth. The Space Foundation and its Hall of Fame isn't run or administered by NASA. It's a completely separate and independent organization. The Space Foundation also dubbed ActivePure a certified space technology. This certification is a licensed seal that allows Aeris to tie their ActivePure technology to the excitement of space. Basically, this certification allows Aeris and its subsidiaries like Vollara to go around saying that their products are space technology.
ActivePure is the only Hall of Fame certified space technology that works continuously to clean and protect air and surfaces 24 hours a day.
Space certification and Hall of Fame honors are awarded to those who have taken a technology developed for space and brought it back to Earth to benefit our lives here. ActivePure has enormous implications to help people on Earth. It's a real game changer.
While ActivePure's recognition by the Space Foundation does afford it some legitimacy, I believe Vollara reps selling ActivePure air purifiers primarily use this recognition as a marketing gimmick. It's not like their air purifiers are actually being used in space, yet Vollara reps routinely refer to them as space technology and conveniently leave it up to the customer to make assumptions about what that means. Considering their air purifiers retail at almost $1,500, I think pushing the whole space technology aspect of it is really a way for Vollara reps to justify such an exorbitant price tag. I think it'll become even more convincing that all of this is just a slimy marketing ploy when we take a look at some of the other products Vollara sells. Vollara's second most popular product is an alkaline water filter that, believe it or not, is even more expensive than their air purifier. Retailing at almost $2,500, Vollara's filter can be hooked up directly to your sink faucet and increases the pH level of your tap water. Recently, alkaline water, or water that has a pH level above 7, has been all the rage. You can even find it being sold in grocery stores nowadays. Its proponents claim that drinking water with a pH level above 7 reduces acid in the bloodstream, which they say improves metabolism, increases energy, slows aging, improves digestion, and reduces bone loss. These claims can be tied back to an old idea called the acid ash hypothesis. This hypothesis purports that bodies that are more acidic tend to have more health problems. So if you're able to raise the pH level in your body, specifically in your bloodstream, then health problems will be less likely to occur.
Alkaline water, or water that has a higher pH level, is very good for your health. What it does, it allows your bloodstream to have a higher pH, and it's been proven that diseases cannot live in a high pH environment.
Despite those claiming otherwise, there really isn't any evidence that alkaline water works. According to the Mayo Clinic, research suggests that it's unlikely that drinking alkaline water does anything to the bloodstream or improves health in any measurable way. In actuality, the range of pH where our cells are able to function is quite narrow. It's a good thing that you really can't mess with the pH level of your bloodstream, because if you're somehow able to, it could result in organ failure or even death. Along with their alkaline water filter, they also sell something called H2 Fuel, which is basically just a $300 water bottle. They claim this portable bottle charges water with molecular hydrogen gas to create a hydrogen-infused, antioxidant-rich water. Hydrogen water is said to have many health benefits, such as boosting athletic performance, decreasing inflammation, and slowing aging. However, much like alkaline water, there's really no evidence to suggest that hydrogen water does much of anything. Again, it's just another bogus health product. Vollara also sells a myriad of supplements that supposedly do all kinds of things. I'm not going to even bother going into detail about each supplement because they're all bogus. If you've been watching my channel for a while now, you know how I feel about supplements. The billion-dollar supplement industry is virtually unregulated, and there's really no way to know what ingredients are even in a supplement. For example, between 2009 and 2012, the FDA recalled 274 supplements for containing ingredients that not only weren't listed on their label, but were also banned in the US. A later 2014 report found that nearly 6 months after these products were recalled, 2/3 of them were still being sold while containing banned ingredients. There's also little to no research that suggests most supplements do anything for your health, and supplement companies aren't required to demonstrate that their products do what they claim they do. So unless a medical doctor is telling you to take a certain supplement, there's really no reason to spend your hard-earned cash on them. MLM companies shilling supplements are a dime a dozen. As we've discussed at length on this channel, the products in an MLM don't really matter. The products are simply there to give the appearance of legitimacy to something that's really just a racket. MLM founders are often drawn to supplements because they're an easy grift. They're easy to produce, you can claim they do anything you want them to do, and you can basically charge anything you want to charge for them. Those shilling supplements prey on people's anxieties surrounding their health, and people, especially desperate people, will pay almost anything for something that has even a slight chance of working, and will ignore all the red flags of a scam along the way. The last two products that Vollara sells are thankfully not health related. Their Laundry Pro 2.0 is a laundry care device that uses just cold water infused with hydrogen and oxygen-based oxidizers to clean clothes. There's no laundry detergent needed. However, if your clothes have any actual dirt or residue on them, you'll still need to use detergent, which kind of defeats the purpose, in my opinion.
You do not need to use detergent as long as your clothes are not really soiled. When I'm talking about like grass stained, dirt stained, grease stained, you really don't need any soap. Now, if you're out in the yard and you get grass stains, dirt stains, grease, oil on your clothes, it will not take it out. You will have to add some detergent.
Their Laundry Care 2.0 retails for about $1,500. Although you'd hypothetically be saving on laundry detergent, I don't personally find it worth the investment. Considering Tide Pods cost about 25 cents each, you'd have to do 6,000 loads of laundry before this investment would pay off. Lastly, they sell something called Steady Power that, as far as I can tell, is basically just a $1,000 surge protector. They claim it also conditions incoming electricity to optimize power and reduce static causing line noise. I honestly have no idea what this means, but I have a feeling this product is really not necessary unless your house was like built in the 1920s. Earlier on in the video, I briefly mentioned how Vollara reps are capitalizing on the COVID-19 pandemic to sell their air purifiers. This may have been an understatement. Vollara reps are actually touting their air purifiers as the, with a capital T, solution to the pandemic.
It's definitely a business worthy of your energy. That just takes about 10 seconds worth of research to know that. But I want you to understand it's also a cause very much worthy of your passion, because it's not just about making money, it's about making a difference. And we can actually, with Active Pure technology, we can crush this pandemic and prevent the next ones and restore freedom to our country. The COVID-19 pandemic, as everybody I'm sure is well aware, is one of the biggest problems the world's ever faced. And Active Pure technology, guys, is the solution. It's not a solution, it's the solution. Not just to this pandemic, but to the next ones that come along as well, so that they won't become pandemics.
Vollara claims that their purifier reduces airborne contaminants, including the virus that causes COVID-19, by 99.9%. They do have third-party lab results to support this claim. For whatever reason, these lab results can't be found on the Vollara website. However, they can be found on the Aeris website. According to the lab results, their air purifier reduces the presence of the virus in the air by 99.9% in just 3 minutes, and reduces the presence of the virus on surfaces by 99.98% in about 7 hours. I'm not necessarily calling into question the results of the lab studies, but as the writer for Behind MLM pointed out, research conducted in the controlled environment of a lab doesn't always translate to real-life environments. In other words, just because Volara's air purifier reduces the presence of the virus by 99.9% in a lab doesn't mean it will do the same thing when placed in your average home or office. The writer for Behind MLM put it this way: if you're in a room with someone who has COVID-19 and is coughing, breathing, and sneezing it all around, a little air purifier in the corner of the room isn't going to catch everything before you've breathed some in. Where I can see them being effective is in cleaning out a room after someone who is infected has left. Apparently, back in December of 2020, Aeris sought emergency FDA approval for use of their air purifiers to curb the pandemic.
Now, with the distribution of the COVID vaccine underway, the next challenge becomes how to make people feel more comfortable with returning to offices and other places. It's where air purifiers could come into play. And the reason why my next guest is seeking emergency approval from the FDA to help fight the pandemic. For more, I'm joined by Joe Urso. He's the chairman and CEO of Active Pure Technologies. Joe, welcome. And what do you need FDA approval for specifically?
Thanks, Kelly. Well, FDA approval is very important because that clearance gives the assurances to people that you're bringing medical-grade protection to everyday places like businesses and schools and homes. And in fact, Kelly, we already have it with our Aeris Medical Guardian, where we demonstrated enormous kill rates against RNA viruses and other pathogens. And we're now bringing it to the FDA to approve us for our specific tests on the SARS-CoV-2 virus, both in the air and on surfaces.
There's been no updates whatsoever on this, so either their FDA approval was denied or they're still awaiting approval. If suddenly tomorrow the FDA, the CDC, and the World Health Organization all started pushing for everyone to use these air purifiers in their homes and offices, I'd be all for it. However, the fact that none of these organizations have really pushed this technology indicates to me that it's probably not effective at slowing the overall spread of the virus. This hasn't stopped Vollara reps from marketing their air purifier as a COVID destroyer. In May of 2021, CNN published an article titled "Schools Spending Millions on Air Purifiers Often Sold Using Overblown Claims." In this article, it's revealed that air purifiers, including Active Pure, have been installed in over 2,000 schools across 44 states. The article mentioned that in a since-deleted video on YouTube, a rep for Active Pure gloated about making six figures from selling air purifiers to just one school. He urged other reps to focus on selling to schools and referred to schools as the big kahuna. The article also discusses how air quality experts are concerned that these purifiers will lull teachers and school administrators into a false sense of security, and that many of the claims about these devices are based on very limited and often shaky research. Air quality experts are also concerned because many of these devices emit potentially harmful levels of ozone, which means in the hopes of protecting students from COVID, schools could actually be subjecting them to other health risks. Vollara does sell a non-ozone emitting air purifier, so at least they have that going for them. It probably doesn't surprise any of you to hear that the health claims made by Vollara reps aren't limited to just COVID-19. In 2016, Truth in Advertising, which is a nonprofit watchdog organization, investigated Vollara. They dug through social media and found dozens upon dozens of posts containing false health claims, most of which were about Volara's alkaline water. Some of the most disturbing posts were about how alkaline water cures cancer. For example, this Facebook user cites the disproved acid ash hypothesis in order to sell Volara's alkaline water. They claim that, according to Nobel Prize winner Dr. Otto Warburg, no disease, including cancer, can survive in an alkaline body. This quote from Dr. Warburg is often cited by those engaged in pseudoscience in order to sell their bogus health remedies. The quote is almost always taken out of context and doesn't actually prove what they think it does. This Facebook user claimed that she used Vollara supplements to cure herself of cancer and that she's still taking them to keep her cancer at bay. And of course, it wouldn't be a good health and wellness MLM if there wasn't a rep out there claiming their products cure autism. This account claimed that a mom of 2 autistic boys was able to significantly improve their symptoms by giving them alkaline water. I want to make the disclaimer that these posts were made several years ago, and it's possible Vollara reps have cleaned up their act since then. That being said, I wouldn't be surprised if reps are still out there making these types of claims. If not on social media, then in person behind closed doors. There really isn't much to say about Volara's compensation plan. It's set up just like any other MLM. It's unilevel with 9 different ranks ranging from business associate all the way up to platinum 5-star director. There are recruitment bonuses, rank achievement bonuses, and even a good old-fashioned car bonus for those who rank gold executive or higher. Something I found interesting was the large disparity between the retail and wholesale price of Volara's products. For example, their air purifier retails for almost $1,500, but the wholesale cost, or the cost for Vollara reps, is only $538. That's a $962 markup. In my opinion, this disparity is an obvious indicator of a recruitment-driven scheme. It's designed to incentivize people to join the opportunity rather than just buy the products. I mean, who's going to pay $1,500 for something when they could just sign up as a distributor and get it for $500? I also found it interesting that Volara's compensation plan isn't linked anywhere on their website. There isn't even information on how much it costs to join. I was only able to find this information by reading behind MLM's review of Vollara and through a link I found on a random Reddit post. The writer for Behind MLM mentions that their lack of transparency surrounding compensation and corporate information could be a violation of the FTC Act. If it's not a violation, it's at least extremely shady. To my knowledge, they also don't produce an income disclosure statement despite being a member of the Direct Selling Association. I could be wrong about this, but I believe DSA members are required to produce income disclosures. Hey guys, it's Editing Taylor here again. I wanted to briefly mention that although I cannot find an income disclosure statement for Vollara, I actually did find some income information for EcoQuest, the company that Vollara used to be. It's actually included in John M. Taylor's study of the MLM industry, and according to his calculations, in 2005, 99.56% of EcoQuest distributors lost money. For a company that's quick to play their NASA card at every opportunity, they sure are secretive about virtually every other aspect of their company. Why attempt to bolster your reputation by flaunting your loose ties to NASA, but then fail to disclose the most basic information someone would need to make an informed decision about joining? What is it that Vollara is trying to hide? The main impression I get from Vollara is that showmanship is everything to them. They think that as long as they can dazzle their potential victims, customers, with talk of space technology that could put an end to the entire pandemic, that they can keep anyone from suspecting what Vollara really is, a scam. Thanks so much for watching. I've been Taylor of the Antibot. A huge thank you to my patrons who help make these videos possible. If you'd like to follow me on socials, my Instagram handle is Taylor_the_Antibot. My Twitter handle is the Antibot. If you'd like to donate to my Patreon, the link is down in the description, and I'll see you all on the next one. Say bye. Oh, you just sneezed on me.